Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Check, 1 2 1 2.
Twenty-one, 22, right? You're Miss NTU?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on here.
Oh, okay. DJ Gerlin will introduce you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Just waiting for one more judge to
Okay.
Indian time. Indian time. We will start. who's got the music? Just let everybody know that we're gonna get started here in a bit. Who's got the music?
DJ has the music, right? You're in charge.
Can you turn down just a little?
Announce that we're gonna start here in a bit.
Check 1 2 1 2. Good afternoon. Yat lan aqua. Na so kaige kwa ni kilta hono lonigi okudina se ya kudo khahal jistoler judge nigi ya aslide na ba doler in khani ya se kudo khahal jistoler to ya kwa al kilta hono lo kwa da ino kaige to kwa contestants bekeno kaige amaro zasi ama dono lendon da ya zasi ya ni kilta hakatoler Ado ya tani gai nilche bitnal kid doler DJ YouTube Navajo Technical University YouTube ishi bin kago na niya nal kid doler ado double nal doler nagai kid anzago do nagai na nistat ego ishi double nal doler DJ do ya doler ta committee dan oflenigi ahot doler ta hit da to nidigi kulina se ka haljis doler kwaigi Check 1 2 1 2. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Do a heha kwa. Na so kaigi. Kudo ya hahaljistolil. Ado she ya Wilbur so ya Yanishia. Tachini Enishlokia ani ebasishin. Nanisht ezet the ne dashet, what it any dashanal. Say ahe hol yehede e are nasha. Ado qua it is other what the ultra bezil has aniki. Dal nishiki inahodo atiki do na antiniki. ARJB the anishiki human resources training coordinator e what ashanan instant quagi. Alto ya kudot ishike ultra and linigi, nalt sosigi ya asulpa, nalt sos alkeo neligi, nalt sos ya halyanigi, besavik taste ingi, be the anishiki nalt sosigi atra alta to sulpa, nana ya tobin yeba na inch quagi. Ako kudo ya hahaljis tole, aron da ya dibin yeni kaigi ya. 2023-2024 Miss NTU Pageant Eyabini Yakwaneta Talt Ego Nihej Kan Linigi Khaishi Eyat and Linigi Eyabet Atole Ebin Yakwaneta Ado Nana Nere YouTube Nilche Ben Kago Ne Hanzago She Peshata Apen Sikis Ben Kago Ne Eya Ahwaditza do eyan hinal na alkidole dije. Ado eya bik in isnil dole. Ado eya shidona dol kilnana da no songoji hinal na alkidole. Nana eya alto biniye kudo nire na nishti na hiso tkanigi ni hilto ndal nish. Yego shini hina nish da halom bin nache don khabiga taslim. Ako eben nache what ebi na alkidole dije. Ako eya DJ is a ahashkita eya ultra has aniki kwaigi Navajo Skill Center what albe etochi inde Ado nana eya Navajo Technical the Crownpoint Institute of Technology what albijit dole na what me what de ultra linigi eya no safe Adon de la eya basement sa anadan linigi eya nana go sa hot albiji badol ni Navajo Technical College de danofiedo lehni dot ni Hanza go she what on hije eya ni ke halon na holjij Ado eya nabike go na eya Navajo Technical University eya danofiedo lehni dot ni Ako ebe benaja what de ultra has anigi de what ultra no safe Is a other quick or eya nalsos, ido biliki eya nikia halodi qua ultra has anigi. Adon da eya nere aslakean has ango adi ultra naznil. Nasht SD adi Zuni New Mexico adi flabit has Nere hos dojage in a linge chin li adi eya do flabit has Nana eya kujigo. Tanapan sa anje. Is Nazbans Ad eya altosa ultra linigi lahas Dagat gaidi nana Kirtlandi adi ultra naznil Ado qua eya ayese kudot is other deshki do ayese kudot dan hikegi quagi ultra sa main campus Ako what anike ultra linigi eya no safe is a ada quago eya certificates dol bil Associate's degrees, baccalaureate degrees, auto master degree. Auto di anidot achel hazid yata nakhabe la azlego PhD program. Ede ya nakhabe la azlego kwapniya da ultra dole kodot ni. Bada ultra dole the nebazad beyati igi. Ako what eya di ultra no sale. Ada di eyani hit kedan linigit is ada quigo ken has ago eyabini yesh nanakha. Nige ada hugo ultra david zil nas ago bin yekon nadaka. Nike ultra what has Nike ultra what eya bada william what da antiniki da hallo no go hot ni hit a can linigi a yan hat hanatan lo aron da a yan re a hokai ban nada al tahago kon hat nanata alto ako eben na je hot sa nana di kahigi sa nada do tir without need ako eben ye kwan nita aron da a ya eben ye at a cat halt ego shi a yakudo khai shi a ya linigi a ya bet atule dije ya des adobik eje shi a ya bet atule ado shi a ya ye khahagatole to e shi e hot ye no se tole to hot shi bena hat dit atole eben ye kwan nita ako hot ede ya kwan nita the neck achago hot sad linigi e ya be hasti tole thank you. Thank you, everyone, for attending our event here today. We are here for our 2023-2024 Miss NTU Pageant. There are 3 outstanding, young, educated women who are vying for this title. We are the nation's, we are the world's very first tribal university. For her to be in that role, to represent us, to represent our school, to represent our very small community and our 5 branches, is a task that she will hold for a whole calendar year. So without further ado, we are going to continue on with our program here today. And I am your MC. And thank you for tuning in on YouTube. And later on here, we'll be live on KCZY, NTU and Crownpoint's very own Eastern Agency Radio. At this time, I'd like to welcome our 2022-2023 Miss NTU Adindine Jones to offer us our opening prayer.
Yat e anosco, yat e shalka, asinko shestui, shizani, shitselke do shich eke, aro shnat I. Adonen the shlinigi eight popa henshle, nanisht edge bashishti, twitch ini dashachero had soy de chanele. East other date nashan did say ahe I sedate nasha. Shamato shija a Cody Jones do Cheryl Morgan dawalye. Shamasane do shache a David Morgan do Sarah Morgan dawalye. Ado Chanela Hasi do Chanela Asa a Edison Jones do Louise Jones dawalye. Akuta the net son shle. Hello everyone, my name is Adindine Jones. I am of the Water Edge People Clan, born for the Zuni People Clan. My maternal grandfather's clan is the Bitterwater People Clan, and my paternal grandfather's clan is the Meadow People Clan. I live here in Crownpoint, but I'm originally from Standing Rock. My parents are Cody Jones and Cheryl Morgan, and this is how I identify myself as a young female Danette woman. I am your current 2022-2023 Miss Navajo Technical University. Thank you. Now for opening prayer, may you guys bow your head and remove your covers. Kodo hojon dole nastan shema yatit hit shita hayolkat no hadoglish no hatsui chat eight sis na jenny so tit do gosli the bensa Shache hashtre tia shache hashtre one yolka istan shema istan nagle shema nadal gaishki nadal suyat aid to atatishtin to biyaj tadidinishki anat ani at aid sa'al nagai bike hujan hujanaskli 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 hujanaskli.
Ilaika shi ajakudo Sorzan Linigi Eya, Ina Sorzan Lini Eya Kudon Habehenzi, Koya Dolit. Kachaya Nasa Eya Nahal Jistolit, Kadeya Kwagi, Nia Dean of Student Services, Eya Dean Jerlin Henry, She Eya Kudo, 2023-2024, Miss NTU Contestant, on the Eya judging panel, She Eya Kudo, Nikiche Ashtani Eya Haile Dolit. Dean Henry?
Yat Anolto. Che Geraldine Henry, she had Trabahanish, Contestant, Bashashin, Lizatline, Dasha Shane, Dashanala. I'm the Dean of Student Services here, and we appreciate all of you coming to this pageant. It's our second time coming back from the pandemic that we're finally doing this again. So really appreciate you guys, the contestants, and then all the judges. Thank you for coming, and all the audience that came in support of your fellow contestants, and then everybody else online. Thank you for joining us. So I'll introduce the contestants, and then I'll introduce the judges. So the first contestant is Samantha Antone. She's originally from Baba Covari District in Sales, Arizona, but she currently resides in Crownpoint, New Mexico. She is Kenyaani Naligo Tohona Adam Yashtin Nasht Eja Dene Edabe Che and Akimio Adaham Dabenale. She's majoring in automotive technology. Her parents are Brenda Martin and John Antone Sr. Thank you, Samantha. Contestant number 2, Mallory McCary. She's originally from Tuba City, Arizona, but resides in Crownpoint, New Mexico. She is Nasht Eja Trabahan Ligo Twitch Eni Yashtin, but Ahni A Dabe Che and Kiyaani A Dabe Nale. She's dual majoring with a minor in electrical engineering and minoring in building information program. Her parents are Malcolm McCary and Geraldine Gamble. The third contestant is DeAndre Harker. She's from Ganado, Arizona, and resides in Crownpoint currently. My deshkijin lingo honagahni yashtin tkachi ne dabe che and nasht eje e dabe nale. And she's majoring in automotive technology and information technology. Her parents are Eileen Yazzie and Eddie Harker. Thank you. Okay, and then the judges. Somebody's speaking. Okay, the judges are Deb Davis. She's Miss Eastern Navajo. Dawes, I'm sorry. Danielle Dawes. And her clans are Mexican, born for Bitterwater, and Taryn House are her Chase, and then Harry. Huh? Oh, the Harry Woods are her Chase. Sorry, I couldn't read that. Okay, and the next one is Miss Sunny Dooley. Is her first language and is one of the premier stellars from the Navajo Nation. For the past 40 years, Miss Dooley has told the Diné stories from Diné to English with all of its rich culture, traditional teaching, and historical context. She's pleased to be here today and is an assistant in selecting Miss NTU. Thank you for coming. Okay, Miss Cajun Cleveland is our other judge. She's a full-time nursing student, a nurse, and currently working on her bachelor's degree in Diné culture and leadership, and hopes to obtain her PhD here at NTU. And Cajun has a wide variety of experience in ambassadorship and leadership. In the previous titles, she was Miss Indian Junior Rodeo Association runner-up, Miss Indian Meyer Mira High School, Miss Eastern Navajo Teen for the 2 terms, Miss Navajo Technical University in 2021-2022, and then Miss Gallup Tribal Ceremonial Queen. And now she's running for Miss Indian New Mexico, and she'll be doing that September 23rd in Albuquerque. So Congratulations. And she's on her 4-week break, so she's helping us out here right now. So thank you, all of you, and thank you for coming, and hopefully we have our selection by the end of the evening or this afternoon, and appreciate all of you coming. Thank you.
Just go ahead and stay by my side here. We'll continue on here. And we are live here on KCZY 107.3 FM. Thank you all for tuning in here this afternoon. And just to add on, Danielle Ardaz is also our Miss Eastern Navajo Agency Fair Queen, continuing on her title for one more year. So if you know anybody out there from the Eastern Agency wanting to run, let's give Danielle Ardaz a break here. And thank you, Shiaza, for attending and being here with us today. We'll go ahead and go continue on here. We will have Dean Henry begin the competition here with the formal interviews for our 3 contestants. All right, I do apologize about that. We're going to have the judges. The judges are going to be asking the formal interviews. And we're going to go ahead and start here on my right. Start off with Miss Eastern Navajo. Oh, Cajun, okay. I missed rehearsals, I'm sorry, so I'm going to wing it right here, okay? So you guys tell me what to do. All right, Cajun.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hopefully it works now.
Check.
Okay. So I'll ask question number 1 to contestant number 1, Samantha. Here's your question. How would you apply the NAF philosophy of education into your reign?
Hello. How I would integrate the NEF philosophy of education into my reign would more be on how, we should strive for higher education as well as being kind to others and making sure that we're able to accept the teachings that are being taught as well as to give back and teach those on to others. And that is a part of my platform. And I feel like that is really strong, especially with the NEF philosophies that NTU teaches here, because NTU is more like this mother-like figure, in my opinion, about my education, because I wouldn't be able to be at least a quarter of my educational goals without NTU. So with that, I'd like to give back and, share what I am being taught now onto people who are willing to learn, people who ask questions, as well as those, to also take in more and to teach more. So for me, it would basically be, like this full cycle of what I am taught to give back and to as well, what is being taught, not only to, just rather than being blindsided or sticking to one thing, but to be open-minded about every teaching, as well as, that sense of respect that comes for our professors. We have to respect them because they're giving their knowledge to us as well. So yeah, that's how I would.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. How would you get more students to NTU using traditional values?
First off, I would like to start with getting our own students involved first. I would like to set up little events and workshops for the students to go to. I feel like it would be very important for us to come together and learn traditional knowledge. And I think to get people to come here with, first it starts with us. We have to know what we're going to teach and how we're going to pass on our knowledge. So I feel like we first need to learn that as a student body. And I feel like once that happens, we can go out into the recruiting to high schools and other social events. Thank you.
Okay, the question is, what are important studies you would encourage students to learn?
So, some important studies I would encourage students to learn is to plan ahead, because in the long run, other things may come up. You may not see, like, foreseen circumstances. And planning ahead, you have room to maneuver around your challenges. And I think another thing that could be implemented or taught is to celebrate your accomplishments and not just brush them off as like little things, because they are something, because you did them for yourself. And I just really think that's a good thing to learn. Yeah.
Okay, Samantha, your second question is, how are you going to use your voice to raise awareness in the community and nation?
I would use my voice to raise awareness in the community and the nation would be that, there is a diversity here at NTU. As you can tell, my dress is a little bit different than the others, but to also know that NTU isn't only just open to Navajo students, that students from outside of the state or even in surrounding communities that are of different cultures find NTU to be this, the more students we get here at NTU, the bigger we grow. Maybe someday we can have a campus that's just as big as here as the Crownpoint campus at the other ones, such as in Kirkland or even in Zuni, or even making Crownpoint's campus even bigger. But that would only happen if we have individuals who are willing to speak up and share about their educational experiences here at NTU, as well as to show that it's not just fully Navajo, but there are, even though the diversity is small, it's still there. So that's how I would do it and be able to, represent both sides, because I am part TO and part Navajo, but to have that balance is basically has been taught a lot while I was here at NTU. To have this balance rather than choosing one or the other, to have this balance at home and again with your education would be a main thing that I would do.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. How would you approach a fellow student who is struggling with their academics?
Okay. To address this, I want everyone to know that I am a senior. I am studying electrical engineering. So I've been here for about 4.5 years now. And I would approach a younger student, a freshman. I would address that it's okay. It's okay for them to feel at a place in a very in whatever concentration that they're in. And I would let them know that we just have to take this one assignment at a time. It's best to do whatever they can and then take a break. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to step away as long as you can go back and finish. And I would also let the younger students know that we do have resources here. There are helpful resources. There's student services, we have counseling, and we have advising, and all of them are very well educated to where they can help us. And one thing that they need to know is that the staff and faculty here really do care. They do want you to succeed. Thank you.
Okay, so the question is a two-part. So the first question is, what are your traits of Miss NTU? And what are your strongest traits and how would you use it?
So, can you repeat the first question?
What are the traits of Miss NTU?
So for the first question, traits of Miss NTU, I think should include generosity, and she should have people skills, because you are going to be communicating or out in the public, and you want to represent NTU with the best of your ability. And by doing that is communication, because communication is key. And I think that she should be open-minded, because like here on campus, there are many different tribes here that come from all over the res. And she should be open to learn more about them and include them in our events that can happen on campus. And let's see, for part two, my traits of Miss NTU would include being open-minded, because I do enjoy learning. It's why I chose to continue my education here at NTU. And sorry, no, thank you.
All right, let's give him a round of applause. Public speaking is really nerve-wracking, I'll tell you. It took me a couple of years to get used to that. And back in 2009 and 2010, in Wingate High School, I was the Mr. Wingate there. And that's where I learned to be very vocal in public speaking. So it's really tough. And for many years as I worked in the radio, it has been like that. But I still get nervous at times, you know. But let's give them another round of applause there. Those are some really, really good questions regarding our university here. Hut e do le to heha kodo ni het ekes and dinigi e ya kodon dabedi kidonda ultra has on do ultra na gai halet a ya na khabena na do le dabedet no hut a na bedi kidon a san dinigi e hut a yen het a hata se ko e ya a heha e do le to na se e na hal just do le kodo e ya ni het e kan dinigi e ya Samantha Antone e si kodo e ya a ti sklik e ho e a je ya ata hol ni liki si ni hinat e le to le. We are moving towards our traditional talent, our skills demonstration. Our first contestant will be Samantha Antone, who will be demonstrating her traditional talents. Let's give her a round of applause.
Yat Asia a single shas toy shizani steke doshich akent aroshnant aldo nen shinigi e ya ki ani nishlent the hana altame bashishchi nanasteja dashache akamaltame dashanella aroskuk dashapai masma aniana jigi sawajum hosik or Samantha Antone aniana vakyamjuk Bavacary District or Coalfields, Arizona. Dovapum yai sapo. Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Antone. I am from the Bavacary District in Crownpoint, New Mexico. For my traditional talent, I am going to be explaining my traditional outfits on my autumn side. So first up, we have this one, which is called the traditional autumn peeposh. The traditional autumn peeposh, as you can see, is a little bit different from the attire that I am wearing right now. Why? Because it has no ribbons. It is made out of cotton rather than satin. The traditional autumn peeposh dress is more used for the traditional women's game taka, which is basically like ground hockey in the dirt, but as well as, you know, for picking like the baitach, which are the cactus fruit that we harvest in early July or mid-July. So with this dress, the skirt is also a little bit longer and a little bit bigger than how this one sits on me. This skirt would drag more on the floor rather than being high up. And that is just to protect your feet from the sun or any type of thorns or like cactus, you know, from being from the desert. And if you need to carry something rather than trying to put everything in your pockets or like trying to sort them into your shirt, this is big for that reason. So that way you're being modest as well. My second dress is, this dress is made by Brenda Ventura. She recently passed away about a couple days ago, and she was one of my mom's closest friends. And she gifted me that dress to use as a project for my senior presentation. This dress, we call it the basket dancer dress. The basket dancer dress has ribbon in the front and ribbon in the back. But as you can see, it has dangling ribbon only in the front, and there are 3. This is because the basket dancer dress, majority of it is going to be focused on the basket. With the skirt, it has 8 different little baskets. So there's about 4 in the front with the man in the maze in the middle, and then 4 in the back. This is represents the number of dancers within a basket dance group. There are 8 dancers from tallest to shortest or oldest to youngest. And it's this way because it has more harmony and flow. The man in the maze is because the pattern of the maze is how we usually dance in a basket. The usual dance moves in a circular motion. Excuse me. And then next we have the flag dress. The flag dress is a yellow top with purple ribbon, the yellow representing the sun and the purple representing the land, as well as the skirt being fully purple and yellow being at the bottom. Now the staff represents the 11 districts that are within the Thon-Otham Reservation. We have 11 districts: the Hikchawan district, the Shka'uk district, the Bavakari district, and the Hikkawan district, and many others, and each of those feathers are represented. The reason why it is called the Thon-Otham flag dress is because if you have ever looked at the Thon-Otham Nation flag, the purple is at the bottom with the staff and the feathers, and the yellow is on top. For this, it would represent the yellow ribbon at the bottom, being that is the sun setting on the land. And my last dress is the one I am wearing. We call it the man in the maze dress, or the teacher of life, because we believe that the man in the maze is a symbol of life. When you enter, which is the man at the beginning, that is birth. It signifies birth. And life is like a maze. You know, life isn't perfect. You go through ups and downs of life, and many twists and turns. You know, you can choose one path or you can take another to get to where you want to be. And that's what this dress represents. As well as the shells that I am wearing, the shells have the same significance as turquoise in Navajo culture, you know, as protection. The shells are our form of protection. It is our way to ask for rain. If you walk around, you'll hear majority of Otham people like that little clinging. That is to represent when the rain hits the land. This mic doesn't like me. Anyways, and last but not least, my great-grandmother, her name was Eliza Antone. She used to sing a lot when I was very young, and especially when she would get ready in her traditional attire, in her Otham himdak. And when she would sing me this song, and I would like to share it all with you. Ya koita sisikoni wo santai mo onya ho mama sisikoni wo ya koita nya ho mama hete maru ukshuk to masu no tatai mo Nya hu mama sisi koni wo ya koita. Nya koita yo ma tsuk chuk ta. Huk suk tam desi koi wo to se ta mo ta. So with that, the song is basically saying when I put my dress on, starting from the skirt, I put it on with respect. When I put my top on, I am going to represent myself in the most modest way. And then when I move on to my shells, which is the duk part, when I move on to my shells, Itoy, please be with me and protect me. Thank you.
De zini ya bakina da kare ola do dan zino kwa mine hudi sado e be el iniki do be e ye hadat ahiki ne zino go nikil astani ne khaila. Contestant number 1, Samantha Antone. Give her another round of applause there. All right, let's keep that going with contestant number 2, Mallory McCary from Tuba City, Arizona, who will be demonstrating her traditional talent and skill demonstration here for us this afternoon.
Ja, she Mallory McCary nisha the date so thana dent on the tapaha nishle to the genie buses cheap but it does che do I can't ani eda chanela I got ego a dene son in nishle. So for my traditional talent or skill, I am gonna give a PowerPoint presentation on the sheep. So first and foremost, we know that having livestock is a symbol of wealth, especially with these hay prices. So, and we know that other sheep is used in other cultures. They raise and consume, however, they use theirs in a different way. As Diné people, we use sheep. We try to use majority of the sheep with little to no waste. So today I'm going to share with you my knowledge on the Navajo terms and how we would use the sheep parts. So to start off, I actually started butchering when I was in kindergarten. My aunt and my uncle taught me how to butcher, but instead of just giving me a sheep and telling me to do it, I learned in little steps. So the first step, which I'm sure a lot of us did, especially as young children, was holding the kahlane, because we had young arms. I also had to hold the sheep leg while they skinned the sheep. After I was able to do that, I went on to cleaning the stomach, fixing the achi, and I would also declaw and knead the sheep blood for blood sausage. Once I was able to get this far, my aunt actually gifted me my first knife set, which in our family is actually considered a promotion. So right here I have my little knife set. So this is what I used to start the next process. Level 3 for me was skinning the sheep, and after I got done helping with the hide, I went on to filleting and dicing the leg and arm. After I was able to fillet the meat without getting any cuts in it, I moved on to quartering the sheep. So taking the arms off, to getting the yid, also to taking the rib and the leg off of the backbone. After this, I moved on to actually dealing with the backbone, which was probably the hardest process for me. To do so, my aunt actually just placed the backbone right in front of me and said, cut it. She said, I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to hold your hand. You're going to learn, and this is going to be your process. There's no right or wrong, you just do it and get it done, which is a big key in life now. No one's going to hold my hand through everything. So right here, I have the anatomy of a sheep. I went ahead and labeled different parts of it. So I have the neck, a os, the liver, a zid, backbone, iran, spleen, a teli, large intestine, a chitil, the tail, a tse, small intestine, a chitogliji, leg, a jaw, the hoof, a cat, stomach, a bid, the diaphragm, a kiz, the breastbone, a yid, and a yiditsint. The heart, we have a jdishjol, and we have the lungs, which is a yid, a jayiljol. Next we have our ribs, a ta, arm, a ran, esophagus, a zige, and the head, a t'i. Now, I'm sorry, I did this in the Navajo font, so it's not showing up properly. So first off, we have the aran, the arm. This can be used as soup, or you can fillet it. For us, we like to use it for the soup just because there's not as much muscle and meat on the arm. Next, we have the backbone. Iran. We can use this for the neshjiji, and inside the backbone, you will actually find thread. This is what they used back in the day to sew. Next, we have the bile. The bile is actually used for weight loss. So after you butcher, you would consume the bile. For the brain, we used it for tanning the sheep hide, or it can be consumed once you cook the head. Breast meat was grilled. The esophagus, we use it in a stir fry. Some people like to call it a goulash. And the eyes, what we were told is if you're going to eat the eyes, you actually have to eat both. Otherwise, you will cause your flock illness. Next, we have the fat. With this, you can use it as an ingredient in the blood sausage. You can use it for the chi, and some people like to just grill it. And this is actually also used for ceremonies. And with the sheep head, we do not use salt on the head. This has been a teaching in my family. And as for the heart, it also would go into the stir fry or goulash with the esophagus. Next, we have the hoof. In the hoof, if you were to take it apart, you can actually find the needle that was used for sewing. And with that, you could also make a stew. You can take the hooves off to where it's just the ankle and put it into a stew. My great-grandma actually used to like doing this during the winter. And for the intestines, you could make it for the chi. The leg is either cut up or as filleted meat or diced for soup. Next, we have the ribs, which was grilled. And the stomach is either grilled by itself or we can use it to make blood sausage. The tongue, once you cook the head, it can also be eaten. And the throat is another ingredient for a stir fry. The tail of a sheep is actually used to determine how fat your sheep is and if it's ready for butchering. And so now I actually have a piece of meat here with me. I have a leg, and I want to show you how I fillet the meat. Okay, so when we're actually going to cut the meat, we like to look for the bone first. Let's see, where's the bone? Okay, so right here we can see that the leg moves right here. So I'm going to cut along the bone, leaving a little bit of meat on so that way it can be used for stew later. And don't forget, you must have sharp knives. So now right here I have my piece of meat. When I was first learning how to fillet the meat, I actually used the table, laying it down on the table first, because I felt that I was not confident enough to hold it in my hand. So that's how I was first taught, was to use the table as a guide. So when we are cutting the meat, you're going to imagine that, so place this on the table, and you're going to imagine that you're unrolling the meat, okay? So we're going to make like a little slice right here, and as we are doing that, we're actually going to roll the meat back, making little slits along it. So right here I made my first slit into the meat. So we can see that this is the thickness that I would like it to be. So now as I am going to cut along this edge, I am actually going to roll this part of the meat back, making sure to not cut through the meat, but just gently slicing it. So now I have my filleted meat right here. So if anyone wants to start the fire right now, we can go throw this on. Thank you.
Bahina da karisa. Ona to da hey. Na ahadzen zuna na khaya hasnadi. Nihit iken lini. Atsen hishkiran sadi dolt isako. I yedit sede ya Josef kan da noch yedit sedon son da no so ishel da hadol na ischa. Ahot ela bahina da karen hit iken. Ala to da hey. Ade ya ni spazen late 7 ga hot Sunday ade. At iken na kilt Navajo iken aje ya behe kinolchil. The mobis kanya danda as alto hane la hon so kre. Cajun asa de ade na as akit in. Miss Navajo Nation at the competition yana kre. Monday, who all went over there to the sheep butchering? Danielle, I seen you all over Facebook. Cajun over there. Anybody else? Nobody else? Well, that's a lot of good information right there. Some reassurance for those of us. Seen Dean Henry with their fried bread already right there and put you on the spot there. All right. Let's go ahead and bring up contestant number 3. DeAndre Harker. Ishi kudo nihinat na atleto le nihid. Ti kudo shi ya atis klizi bik aho aje ya bahan eki ishi kudo nakhaile tolil. Ishi ape kudo tolil. Bakira kare contestant number 3 DeAndre Harker. Check.
Okay. Yat shik edo shidana she DeAndre Harkin she. Adona en the shlinigi madeshki jinishle. Harahni bashichin touchini dashiche donast eja dashanelle. Look ant kel den nasha nast 8 ada dashnache. So my presentation for today is going to be on the national anthem in Navajo. So for the first presentation, I translated it. For those who may not know. So starting off, okay, just a little background information. I come from a military family, so we are very patriotic, and performing this song at the veteran meetings is an honor for me, and not many people knew about it before I started performing it for them. So the first line goes, Ya sho danos iniki hayot kas biyete, which means heaven. Look, all of you saw it, dawn from within. And that would be the literal translation if you were to break it down by bit. So, ba dawinigo at it is something for us to praise or be proud of. Dahnat ai iego nihil inne, meaning the flag. It is very much the one we're proud of. Wait, okay, yeah. No dons do besont. It means it's stripe. It's describing the flag, basically. So it has stripes, it's stars, and they shine. So the next line goes na ba yitka iya, which translates to warriors went among. And if you think about it, that is talking about how our warriors went off to war. And then bits awaniego danis inigi, with fear or awe coming from it, they're seeing it.
So this is coming from the enemy's point of view. They're looking at the flag. Nilche inda dani. Oh wait. Nihilche inda dan. Wait, hold on. Nihilche inda dani ba. So that line translates to us, then we have trust in it. So we put our trust in the flag. Ahos ago binne nita. Forever it will shield us. Bahadzid dahalondi, meaning our enemies are still out there. But the literal translation would be despite fear existing. Eya be si hasin. This is why there is hope. Oneha dasat sozndi. So that describes it flying in the air. And the literal translation for it would be merely for us it's a sheet-like object at rest. Up high. On she a son pensanilgo. Merely, probably, there are stars on it. Dahnat a ahol ado. It will fly up higher forever. Nihikea bikigi kadhojon nahaskli. Our country, the one over it now, beauty is restored. And so now I will perform the song in Navajo. Yashodan holei hayal kalbi yede badawini gohat Dahnat I go na hilnalini. No dos no besonte sons. Na bayet kahia. Bit ahuni go denet Ne hitch in den dahin den banhalini. Ahol ado beninita. Bahad it ahalond e. Ayap and azihas in. Tone hat das it so's and en. Toshi a som benson hilko. Dahnat ahol ado. Nihikea big eyeki kan honjo nahasli. And the next presentation would also be the Pledge of Allegiance in Navajo, because it is important that we know both for balance. So the first line goes, Kea ashladingo bithadzogi, meaning the 50 lands with those lines around them, which is also known as the United States of America. Bitanatai shithlanigo, I am proud of its flag. Bininapich adishne, towards it I say this. Hala ajoba hasinya hadit. It stands for hope and compassion. Kaya as anit et, land united as one. Diandene ye adehosen. We pledge our allegiance to the holy ones in our flag. next line. Benachenik ajoba bezili beda hinil. We stand united behind its strength and grace. So that is the end of the Pledge of Allegiance. And there are many versions of this, but this version I was taught when I was a kid by my Diné culture teacher. And yeah.
Bakinada could DeAndre Harker reciting the Pledge of Allegiance in Navajo and also our national anthem. I'd like to put one particular person on the spot here while we're talking about the Pledge of Allegiance. We had to learn it when we were in preschool. How many of you had to learn in preschool? Raise your hand. Or in kindergarten. Okay? So we didn't really learn it in our kindergarten year until I got to second grade. And there's one particular person here in the audience today who was my substitute teacher at the time. Miss Betty Holian right here. Can you stand up for me? Give a little wave. She used to be my teacher when I was in kindergarten, and she would make sure, along with our other teachers, to make sure that we knew the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, moving on a couple more years later, in high school, in 9th grade, not knowing that we were going to do this, I go to class one day in the morning, and there's another particular person here in the audience who just so happened to be my substitute teacher for that day, for almost that week. And she wanted to make sure that we knew the Pledge of Allegiance in Navajo. I'd like to put Miss Eleanor Rogers on the spot here. Give her a little wave there. She made sure in high school, in 9th grade, that we knew the Pledge of Allegiance. And so thank you for sharing that with us here today, DeAndre. All right, give them another round of applause for their traditional talents there. Really, really good information right there. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to that mutton. Where'd it go? So hopefully they put it on some ice. I don't know where Mike's at, and he can fire up that grill. KCZY ben kagunet DJ alonagay YouTube ben kagunet isn't angin hilto akunza ko ayata ilkido kodo danikini not danikinatig Miss NTU Pageant banalte Achaya Nas Nahal just going back up to contestant number 1, going to be demonstrating her modern talent and skills demonstration. Contestant number 1, welcome back to the stage, Samantha Antone.
Hello, everyone. For my modern talent or modern skill, I chose to go ahead and demonstrate some flute playing. This flute is from my grandpa Wilford Jim down in Coalfields, Arizona, and he is a flute player for the Anthem Nation. So I'm not, at his level yet, but I hope to be there soon. So this is the red-tail hawk flute, which is made out of Spanish cedar or cedar. It is in the key of A minor, and here, okay, hang on. Hopefully this doesn't fall on me. So here, this is a 6-hole flute originally. The leather band here covers that 5th hole just because learning on a 5-hole flute is a lot easier than trying to learn on a 6-hole flute. As you progress, you can go ahead and remove that leather band. But for me, the leather band will stay on for a while till I feel confident to remove it. And here we have the totem. The totem, most people think it is for decoration, but actually the totem plays a big part in the flute. So if I go ahead and, blow through it, you see how it makes a sound. So with that totem, Okay, let's try to get this down. So with that totem here, that can change. If the totem is off even a little bit, there's no sound that's going to come through. The sound is going to sound a lot squeakier, or, you know, you're just going to be blowing air and just going to be like, ew, just kidding. But so if we move it just a little bit and we try to blow through it, it sounds a little more high pitched. Whereas if we move it fully, so if I move this, you would think that, you know, nothing's covering this hole here. That's what tunes the flute. You would think, okay, it's still going to make a sound. Well, it's not going to. So this totem alone plays a big part in the flute to make sure that, you know, no sound or even a little bit of sound is coming through. So when you place your totem, you want to go ahead and make sure it's right at the end. Even if it's like a hairline away, that's fine. It's still going to make the sound that you want. So also a really important thing is that when you blow into it, you know, like those train whistles you get from like when you go to trips on Grand Canyon or whatever, and you blow into it and it sounds like a train, don't blow into it that hard. Start off slow. Starting off slow will give it that nice harmonious tone. So I'm going to go ahead and play this a little bit, and a lot of it is repetitive. With this type of Native American flute, there's really no key notes or anything. You know, it goes by pathiatonic sounds, something like that. And so each hole is designed to make the similar sound. It just depends on you and your finger placement how you want to go ahead and make, quote unquote, a song. So really, you know, there's really no right or wrong way. Anybody can play this. If you're willing to play it, by all means go for it, because it's pretty easy. So also one thing I want to point out is if you kind of heard that little high pitch, I'm not running out of air, okay? It's the flute. I'm just kidding. No, but also a really important thing is do not claw into the holes. If you do that, you know, you're going to get that little high pitch. Lay your fingers on top of it, and then it'll go smoother. Don't, you know, try to put your nail in there. You don't want your nails in there. It might fly out the other end. I'm just kidding. But so that's also one thing I want to point out. Kind of glad it did that. So yeah. Also, you know, the more you force air into it, the more you're changing the tune at the bottom. Slowly, I don't know if you notice, a lot of, like, me manhandling it is mainly at the top because there's really going to be no change in sound because the wood tends to be thicker on the top. Whereas at the bottom, you know, that's why it's important to not really, like, just full on blow into it because you're ruining the tuning. And this one is pretty old, doesn't look like it, but it's been through, a lot so far, and that's fine. It's been refurbished, and yeah, I'm glad that I'm able to go ahead and carry this on as a skill from my grandpa. Someday I'll be good just like him, but until then, it just takes practice. So thank you.
All right, give another round of applause to Samantha Stone for that really good modern demonstration there of the flute playing there. Contestant number 2, Mallory McCary. She'll be coming up here and demonstrating her modern talent here for us this afternoon. How's everybody doing out there? You guys enjoying the show so far? Yeah. Ishi kudon hit a can linigi in Hana Atli, Dolitla Quaggy. Ede ya ahan soda negada banat, Dolitla Quaggy. I think we're in for a good presentation right here.
Hello, everyone. Again, I am in the electrical engineering program. So today I am actually going to talk about the Arduino applications. Okay, so first off, what is an Arduino? An Arduino is actually an open source platform that allows people to build electronic projects, and it's actually very beginner friendly. So over here on the PowerPoint, starting from the bottom, we have the Nano, the Arduino Nano. Up on top of it, we have the Arduino Micro, and then the next two are next to the Arduino, or the middle Arduino, I'm sorry, is Arduino Uno, and the one on the far right is Arduino Leonardo, I believe. So with an Arduino, you can actually do a lot of applications. So first we have smart homes. So we have these devices inside our homes. So if anyone has noticed that their cooling system is actually powered by an Arduino. Next, we have our traffic signals. Our traffic signals actually go off of a sensor and let the lights know when to change and how long they should stay green, yellow, red. With our medical devices, they're actually used to monitor vitals, and it can actually give us real-time data. With the programming, you can actually give a timestamp. So if, let's say someone's doing oxygen levels. If the oxygen level reaches below a certain point, the Arduino will notify the nurse and say, hello, this person needs attention. Next, we have our automatic vehicle control. So, a good example of this is Tesla. Tesla is actually one of those self-driving cars, right? So with this, they can actually use Arduino and the sensors. Robotics, of course, just to teach children how to begin programming. With the industries, we can actually use this for the production lines and maintenance and monitoring. So if you're running low on ink like a printer, it can actually tell you, hey, you need toner, you need black ink, you need magenta. So right here, I actually have two Arduinos with me. This first one on this little sheet is an Arduino Uno. And with this Arduino Uno, I connected it to a breadboard. On this breadboard, it has a little photoresistor, which is the detection of the sun or any light source. Next, I have an LED. This LED will light up however I want to program it. I'll go ahead and give this to Tori to show the judges. Next right here, I have the Grove Beginner Friendly Kit. With this application is actually the easiest one to work with because it actually has the sensors and other gadgets I would need. So it has a sound, a light, air pressure, temperature, humidity, and it also has a buzzer and a display screen. So over on the screen, I have my code. This is the code that I would enter into the Arduino software. Arduino is actually powered by C++. So this is the code that I have. The top of the code, you'll see where it says light switch. Underneath, it says INT sensor pin equals A6. So with this, I am assigning each pin. I am assigning each of these pins on here to a certain function. So it's saying that this sensor pin, which would be like the photoresistor, it will be plugged into this pin so it knows where to get the signal from. Next off, I have the void setup. This lets me assign the pins to say this is going to be your input, this is going to be your output. Next, I have void loop. Loop is to where the Arduino knows to keep running the software. If I didn't have the word loop in it, it would only run this software or the program once. But with this, I am actually going to loop it so that way you can see once I demonstrate how it changes. So with this Arduino, I actually coded it to where it can turn on and turn off once it senses light. So if you've ever noticed those garden light stakes that you put out in your lawn, those are actually powered by very, very tiny Arduinos. Those are light sensored, so once light hits the top, it knows when to turn off the light. So when it starts to get dark, it senses and sends a signal and tells the object to turn on the light. Another place you see this is on vehicles. So if you turn your vehicle to auto light, it'll show you once it starts to get dark, the lights will turn on. Once the sun rises, you'll notice that it turns off. So, I'm sorry, I thought my laptop was going to be connected to the projector. So right here, I have exactly what that code is on my laptop. And so on this Arduino, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. So up here is that light sensor, and over here is the LED. So right now, I am just uploading my code to the software. Okay, so I'm not sure if everyone can see this, but the LED right here is turned on. And you see how once I turn it down, I'm not sure if you can all see this, but once I turn this down, the LED is on because the photoresistor doesn't sense any light detected. Once I flip this up, the LED actually turns off. So I'm going to go ahead and let Tori pass this around again real quick. If you have a flashlight, you could actually point it right to this little clear light, and it'll show you turning it on and off. So right here, if for the audience that cannot see it, right here, this is where on the left side is the Grove Beginner Kit, which is the one that Tori is showing the judges. It was dark in my room, so the light was turned on. And for this first one that I passed around is the schematic on the right. So before we actually start to build this, we can go into a software called Tinkercad, and we can actually build these circuits electronically to check if they work first before building it. So this is basically our blueprint. Thank you.
All right, let's give her another round of applause. Mallory there. How many of you are taking notes or recording? I think that's going to be on our midterms here coming up, right? That's really, really interesting. That's really cool that, you know, it's all hands-on here at NTU, and that's what makes us really unique, and they allow the students to develop their own programs and ways that they can show family. So it's really, really good. Give another round of applause there. So Geraldine, you're not going to ever run out of light there. You're going to have solar light at home all over the place. Students out there, and also our maintenance out there who are watching over us here today. And just a little quick announcement as well. We got a powwow here coming up in this month of September. It's going to be happening on the 15th of September here, starting at noon. It's going to be held here at the main campus. So we're going to have gourd dance and social powwow. So if you don't have anything going, stop on by here on the 15th at noon. Okay, we're going to be starting off with our gourd dance session from 12 to 4, followed by a supper break from 4 to 5, and grand entry will be starting at 5 o'clock. And this year is going to be the 2023 National Suicide Prevention, Creating Hope Through Action, Gourd Dance and Social Powwow. All right, let's give another round of applause to contestant number 3, DeAndre Harker, going to be demonstrating her modern talent here for us this afternoon at the 2023 Miss NTU Pageant.
So for my modern talent, I chose cooking. So this morning I had made some blue mush, and I am going to present on how to make it. So what you'll need is a large stainless steel pot. Any pot can work, but stainless steel is best for easy cleanup. Next you're going to need a whisk, or stirring sticks if you prefer, a measuring cup to measure your water, measuring spoons for your juniper ash and your blue cornmeal, and a mesh strainer. So to make blue mush, you'll need 3 ingredients, which is 1 tablespoon of juniper ash, 4.5 or 5 cups of water, and 2 cups of blue cornmeal. So the first step, you're going to want to measure out 4 cups of water and put that into your large pot, and set your stove to medium high and let that boil. In that pot, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of juniper ash and let sit for a couple minutes. After a couple minutes, then you will strain out your large pieces of ash flakes. With step 2, you're going to measure out your 2 cups of blue cornmeal. And the second picture where the blue corn mush looks mixed with water, that is optional, but this is the way I was taught to keep it from clumping as you pour it into the water. Step 3, add your blue cornmeal mixture to your boiling water. And when you're pouring your porridge mixture into the water, it is best that you're stirring as you're pouring, so that way it comes out smoother and you won't get many clumps. It's best to have a cup of water on this side, so that way it doesn't thicken up on you too fast, because it can happen. Your step 4 is, once your mixture is smooth, there are no clumps, you're gonna let it sit on low for 20 to 30 minutes. And stir occasionally and add water if needed, but you don't really need to add water after this point, because once you cover it, there's gonna be steam dripping into the mixture and you stir it in. And step 5, after 20 to 30 minutes, you're gonna wanna let it set and cool off before you enjoy and eat. And with the pictures on the side, you can eat it many different ways, your regular salt or sugar, but now you can add some fresh fruit or nuts to it. So, I have this is the mush I made this morning, and I will serve the judges. That's all.
All right, let's give her another round of applause there for demonstrating her talent in making blue mush. Ako hot ayan na kay nihinasa na da aitla ni hit eken an linigi trust ego ayabini yedi at the sonsiki ayati hota ultra betzin has anigi which ekevin yedi jegi any hinasa da ila abe jigo bahan na ejigo I han so da ye damanist kai git na da ila give him round of applause ba hida kadisa nzuno ni hinasa da ila hot a do leta di kwa. While the judges are making their final decisions here, we're going to go ahead and invite our current Miss NTU up here to the mic to deliver. Gets out of the way. I think the prop master is having blue mush back there. We're going to turn the time over to 2022-2023 Miss NTU Adindin Jones. She's going to deliver her farewell speech.
yat nana she adindin Jones yininshe. Tupahin shle nanisht edge bashishi Twitch ini dashachero hatsoy dashanale. Hello everyone, I am your current 2022-2023 Miss Navajo Technical University, and I just wanted to say a few words. I'm not really prepared for a farewell speech because there's just so much thanks to give to each and every one, especially with the NTU committee, the judges, even the girls who are running. First of all, I just wanted to, congratulate the girls who decided to come up here and perform their contemporary and traditional talents, because it does take a lot of work and it takes a lot of courage. You get nervous, even just if it's just like a little bit of people watching you. It plays a big role. And I just want to say thank you to the judges who came out here to, judge for the next Miss NTU. And thank you to the audience who are here present watching, the people who are on YouTube and the radio listening. Thank you. I want to say thank you to Sharetta for the Miss NTU coordinator. She helped me out a lot. And to Mike and DJ and these guys right here, thank you guys. It really does mean a lot. I've held this title for 1 year, and there was a lot of last minute events, but we went to every single event. We put on a show. We even did all the parades. And the last one that I did was the Chin Lee Parade, and it was a really great experience. I've never even been to the Chin Lee Parade until I was in it as Miss NTU. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to my parents. They are not here because they have to work. I just want to say thank you to my mom. I know she's tuning in on YouTube, and my dad on the radio. Thank you. And I just also wanted to say that to the next Miss NTU, whoever, Mallory, Samantha, or DeAndre, you guys did a good job, and I'm proud of each and every one of you guys. And I just want to say to the audience, it's good to see people here at the pageant. It's good to see you guys tuning in, listening, because the Navajo culture is it's really important to, our tradition. And I know when I was up here running for Miss NTU, I was the only contestant, and I was still nervous even though I was the only one. And I remember Cajun right here, she was saying that to stay closely connected to your culture, your traditions, and your language, because it does play a big role in your life, and it does play a big role being Miss Navajo Technical University. Even with the philosophies here at NTU, it does play a big role. And I just wanted to say that I also was the Miss Junior Crownpoint Community School Princess, and then I carried my title into high school, which was I was the 2021-2022 Miss Crownpoint High School, and I still hold that title. I still try to, go to my high school to have people, to have another pageant, to have another Miss CHS, but nothing yet. And now I've carried it to here to Miss NTU, so now I am the current 2022-2023 Miss NTU, at least for a few more minutes. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, you did a really outstanding job representing NTU out there with all the events you have gone out to. And it does take a lot to be royalty, especially if you're carrying on a crown 2 consecutive years, just like our Miss Eastern right here. So hoping that CHS will relieve you of that duty here soon. We still got some time here. We're making until we get the final decision on who our next Miss NTU is going to be. So I really like to thank everybody for coming out here today, all the students, for those of you who are tuned in online, who will be watching here soon after the live stream has been posted. And earlier today, we had a horse trail ride that took place from my home chapter, Standing Rock, all the way here to Crownpoint. And I'd like to thank the participants there and also the committee who organized that event. So give them a round of applause for that, Ashante. And we are into our third week of school here, so it's a lot of fun. It's really good to see a lot of the students walking around here. And this is one of the years where our enrollment is actually high. Give yourselves a round of applause, you students, for enrolling here. Really appreciate it. And also for all the staff here who are in attendance here, give yourself a round of applause as well for doing all the hard work out there and getting out there. And also a few of, I'd like to point out the part-time who has done her duty as a recruiter, Miss Eleanor Rogers. Give yourself a round of applause there for bringing in some students, going all the way out there to Tuba City, all over Arizona. You know, you come in at one time, and then after that you leave, and then you go again. And so that was a lot of fun. And so thank you for doing that with us, for us. I'm going to turn the time over to Miss Eastern Navajo here to give us a formal introduction as we wait for the results to come up here to me, and the anticipation continues to grow. Girls, hang in there, okay?
Yat a anato shikado shidane shea Danielle Rose Dawes and Shiato Adona Ashlinigi Aya Nakarina Ashlon Toritini Ayashtin Kiani Dashito Gogane Ashanelet Ado Lake and Hojon Dat Nasha Shamado Shaja Aya Bernice Wallace Dawes Awalya Ado Shiche A Alfred Long Awalya Ado Shamasanigi A Rose H Long Aholianda Ado Shanalas Tado Shanalas T A Harvido Eleanor Dawes A Walianda Ado Naidina Shkla A Shanahe Ado I'm the 2023-2024 Miss Eastern Navajo. I've held the title since 2019 before the pandemic, and yeah. We had our pageant here back in July, and I'm very thankful to the Navajo Technical University here as well for helping us with our pageant. And yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right, let's give her another round of applause there. Ede yakudo ni hitao to sin do da yakudo ni hit ahajozi ako eya ahut ego eya hut abana ni sheyosen negay the kosan san hit kan ni ya da di anil to ni hit peda hazen e le ada hugo na ni stat e ki eya da dis kal aro eya alto negay aho khay banada alta ha e to eya ahan so den ede la ko ede ya and eya dis g de e na ni sheyosen di kwan hit e kan lenigi I say eya bana ni she bana no e len za go eya na kha tra nanata aro negay agency council meeting na banal ta da ade eya trasata go eya bana ni sheyosen le ako eya ahut ego to le lam Kareya aja eya bada hushis to le re khayes khayda da shiya di eya chandnigi eya be it to le la ek at eya ba hushis to le aro kudowi ga hoy zin shiya. All right, are we ready? Audience, are we ready to crown our new Miss NTU? Are we ready? Let's hear it. The moment we've all been waiting for now comes to an end, where we are going to crown our 2022, 2020, 2023, 2024 Miss NTU. Alrighty. The credentials to run for Miss NTU. You must be a full-time student here with NTU, having a 3.0 overall grade point average. Must be in good academic standings with no reports ever filed following your college career. Must be single with no dependents and the age of 18 to 25 years old. and must not apply for the candidacy for NTU Senate. So those are some of the eligibility requirements to run for Miss NTU. Okay, committee, are we ready? All right. Okay, here we go. Coming in as second runner-up, third in line for the crown. If Miss NTU, the newly crowned, shall not continue her reign, the first runner-up will take over, and second runner-up will take over. The second runner-up, DeAndre Harker. Give her a round of applause. How was the blue mush? Was it good? Bahinada DeAndre Harker coming in as second runner-up. All right, here we go. This is where we're going to determine who the next Miss NTU 2023-2024 is going to be. Coming in, that's first runner-up. I can't read this. I'm kidding. Everyone's pointing fingers over here like, who is it? All right, coming in at first runner-up, Mallory McCary, coming in as first runner-up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, your Miss NTU 2023-2024, Samantha Antone. Let's give contestant Samantha Antone a round of applause. All the way out from Sells, Arizona, currently residing here in Crownpoint, New Mexico. Her clans are Kia'ani and Lo, Tona Otom, Eya Yaschin, Mama Sando Bache, Eya Nanisht Eje, Bene E Dabache, Ada Eya. Onahotam, Eya Dabanale Ko, Eya Automotive Technology, Chide E Aja Yabeda, Anishiki Eya Bananishayosen. Hi Shamba Hidakan. As we get our 2022-2023 Adin Din Jones to give her the crown that she will wear for a full academic calendar year. Let's give her a round of applause here. I'd like to thank all the ladies up here who have done an outstanding job for reassuring with some of that cultural knowledge and butchering, and also making blue corn mush, and also showing us what it takes for solar energy to be utilized on a panel. I don't really know the technical details of it, but soon I will. Thank you. Samantha Antone, Aya, Chahandlinigi Aya Bait Andole, Quiet East, Ozokota Altka Bezir has Anigi, Ashi Aya Kudon Hayana Gadolena, Nadine Tra de me, Nadine Tra and Aya Nadine D, Yahiki Aya Nihich, Ayan Hassino, Haishan Bahida Kirkwa, then he cannot take it on Aya Niso, Tanigini, Ahon, the Aya Haisha. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023-2024 Miss NTU, Samantha Antone.
Yat Shikedo Shidina Shea Samantha Antonian and Shia Kia Ani Nishlet the Hona Ultimate Bashishi Nanastasia Dashiche Akuma Ultimate Dashanella Auto Navajo Technical University da Inishta Automotive Technology da Inishta Auto Shimado Shaja Aya Brenda Martin Do John Anton Senior Willia Senate Doshiche, Linda City Martin Do, Matthew Martin Senior Williant, and Otto Chanela Do Chanela Hastin, Pauline Marie Anton Do, Vern Osa Williant, and Akut Ego the Net, Zananishla, Skukta Shapai Masma, Aniana Jiggy Sawajum Hosek or Samantha Anton, Aniana Vakyam Juk Babakari District or Coalfields, Arizona, Dovo Pumyai Sape Sapo. Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Anton. First of all, I don't really know what to say. You know, I was telling my mom earlier this week that when I would run for titles close to home, my late aunt and my late uncle would be there to celebrate with me, whether it was a win or lose outcome. And when I ran for Miss Eastern Navajo Teen, my aunt had passed away, but that was a dream of hers. And this is another dream of hers, and I'm glad I'm able to fulfill it. Thank you very much to the judges. You know, we all did a wonderful job. Wherever they went. We all did an amazing job, and I promise to do just as well of a job to represent NTU with the utmost respect and honor. Thank you.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our newly crowned 2023-2024 Miss NTU. All right, yeah. Hey, you're dismissed for a little bit here. All right, at this time, I'd like to welcome the committee up here to do the presentation of appreciation gifts.
Hello again. Thank you. Congratulations. We just wanted to thank Identity for running around for us the whole year and just representing NTU all this since, I believe, September. September was when we crowned her, and she's been all over the place. We made her go everywhere, for recruitment to speaking engagements to different pageants. So she put a lot of miles on her vehicle, and a lot of times she went on her own. We just supported her in every way that she wanted to represent NTU, and we really, really appreciate what you've done for us this past year, and everything that you want to do going forward. We support you in every way, and we just wanted to thank you with little gifts that we had collected for you, so thank you.
Junia Bakinada could committee on Lini Kudoshi Yasa Banado also Aya Shreda Martinez Brown Aya Kudo Sa Linig Aya Nich Adotsi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yante Shea Shreda Martinez Brown Shia. Last year in Shlon Zalkai Twapan Bashishtin, Toidlin Dashida, Bethlehem Dashanala, Adale, Twitch Aya, Ayasadet Nasha. I am the advisor for Miss NTU here, so I just wanted to say I'm very proud of what Adindine has done. I think she's grown a lot from the time she started here at Navajo Tech. She was a first-year student when she started here at Navajo Tech. So I think she set a fine example for all our first years out there, and I hope that they follow her footprints. And also that she showed a lot of appreciation for her education here at Navajo Tech. And she also shared a lot of her cultural knowledge and teachings. So I just want to say I'm really proud of her, and I wish her all the best of luck this coming academic year. I look forward to seeing her complete the rest of her goals. She has a lot of goals that are set in front of her, and I think this is one of the journeys that she had to take to make her journey a little bit more easier for her, as she's going to be coming to a lot of challenges in life. And I think preparing herself as a woman, preparing herself as a educated woman is the tools that she needs and the skills that she'll have when she goes out there in the world and face a lot of the adaptions that she'll have to do and overcome when she leaves Navajo Tech. So I'm glad I was able to be there beside her at most of her events, some of her events. I also want to thank the committee for taking the time to do the pageant, do the recognition, the appreciation. Also, the judges, thank you for all taking time out of your day, being here and being a part of the Miss NTU. I'm glad that our school still has this pageant, because I think it's important that we share our culture, share our knowledge, especially have our females be out there and sharing their culture, and everyone else who has been a former Miss NTU. They've all done a wonderful job being an ambassador for our university, and I'm very proud of each and every one who has held this title. I also want to thank the students who made that effort to come and run for Miss NTU. I think it takes a lot of courage to do something like that, and I applaud them for that. And I think nobody left here without some type of success, achievement, and I think all of them are winners today because of all the things they shared. You know, it's a lot of information, and it's a lot of talent that they shared with us. So thank you again.
All right, give her another round of applause there. Our first year academic counselor, Sharetta Martinez Brown. And I'm using a different system here. All right, we are coming to the end of our pageant here. Our newly crowned, our 2023-2024 newly crowned Miss NTU. If you could offer us a closing prayer to close out our session here today.
Mike has a shawl, so he's Miss NTU. No, just kidding. If you can go ahead and remove your hats or any covers, we're going to go ahead and say the closing prayer. Okay. Father God, we thank you for allowing us to come together today, to come together safely, as well as to bless us in our travels as we head home, Lord. Thank you for all of the blessings that you have shown upon us, each and every single person in here in this building, Lord God. Thank you, and continue to watch over us, whether it be in our daily lives, our jobs, our educational goals, Lord God. We ask that you continue to keep us safe and shield us from harm's way. Amen.
Thank you guys for all attending this Miss NTU pageant. Drive safe home. If you're going back to work, let's go back to our offices. 2023 Miss NTU pageant. Another Elia DJ. On the Ayan Hinatanda as Kirigini Hieto, Erea Hiadoleta Don Kudo Ayanel Chemin na Eya, Erea Dysonals Angi KCZY 107.3 FM. Akunza to say Ayan Hinata da Iliadolet. Hagona Eya than Hidit Nidolet. We do have a little bit of light refreshments over here on my left-hand side, your right-hand side, in front of you or behind you. So help yourselves to that.